This time on Rad Rat Video, we're trying to win a $1 billion fingerboarding bet. I know, but just, it's pretty cool. Welcome back to Rad Rat Video, a channel about skateboarding and skateboarding video games and answering interesting skateboarding questions. That's what I've got for you today. We've got math. We've got an interesting question about if I might lose my fingers, or what I would bet to lose my fingers. We'll get there in a second. But let's do the math first. This question is from Reno, who says, how fast do you estimate Milton Martinez was going in the dictionary hill bomb in San Diego? So I'll put a link to the video in the description. I can't play the whole thing. I'm sure it'll be copyright flagged. I'm going to try to play the part where I'm going to try to guess the speed, though, which is right here. There's two big hills and one little one right after it, which is not going to give him much speed, but I can get a much cleaner view from this angle. So the number will be a tiny bit low, but honestly not that much. If you didn't see a clip there, it's because I tried and it got blocked and I re-uploaded the video, but I tried my best. Okay, so I started by trying to figure out, I've got a bunch of math right here. I tried to figure out how far apart these markers are on the road. And I looked up the California Department of Transportation's official documentation on this from 2019. The road looks pretty new, at least the markers look pretty new on it. And their official standard is 24 feet between. So I can tell that he is moving, you know, he's moving 24 feet. How quickly does he do that? Well, I use these two markers right here. And they uploaded this video in 24 frames a second. Why? This should be 60. You get a lot more sense of speed if I don't know, it's not a movie. I don't know why they did 24 frames a second. It makes this more of a guess than I'd like because the frames are so far apart. I mean, come on, a GoPro can film 120. You're gonna upload in 24, give me a break. But anyway, it looks like about 9.5 frames from when his nose is in the line with the marker to the next one. He's partway between these two frames, so that's why I'm calling it 9.5. So it takes him 9.5 24ths of a second to get 24 feet. So we can do some math there. 9.5 24ths is 0.396 of a second. Okay, so to get from 0.396 to 1, we have to multiply both by 2.525. So it's not 24 feet per 0.39 seconds, it's 60.6 feet per 1 second. So now that we have a standard unit of feet per second, we can do standard conversions. It is 41 miles per hour or 66 kilometers per hour, which is crazy. But like I said, there is a mild hill after that. He probably tops out a little bit higher. I would say maybe 44 miles per hour, 70-ish kilometers per hour. Hard to say for sure. And it is a guess because of the super low frame rate. Being off by half of a frame is going to be a pretty big difference in the number, but above 40 miles per hour at least. Imagine getting some speed wobbles going 40 miles an hour. Okay, next question is from Sam O'Nella, who says, I've been thinking about Nollie board and lip slides, and I'm a little confused. Okay, so he describes which direction he is. Is it the hard way or the easy way? Okay, I'll explain these because like every Nollie and fakie grind, they're confusing, and people get them wrong a lot. So the difference between a lip slide and a board slide is when the back truck goes over the ledge and then you slide like a board slide. But what's your back truck? On the tail, it's your tail. So you roll up front side, you pop up, pull it over, slide forward. Back side, obvious. Switch, obvious. Fakie, your back truck is your normal back truck, which is now in the front, which is annoying, but it's true. Because a fakie 5.0 is on your back truck and you pop up and do like a switch nose grind, right? So a fakie 5.0, that's still the back truck. So to do a fakie lip slide is the same motion as a forward one. So you would pop up, if it's in front of you, you pop up, clear it, and pull the back truck over. So it's just going backwards. So it's like a fakie ollie to switch front board. That's a fakie lip slide. Nollie is going to be the opposite. So Nollie, as soon as you leave the ground, you're no longer in that stance. I don't know if that's like the official rule or whatever, but it's an easy way to understand how it works. As soon as you leave the ground and you start spinning, you're not on the nose anymore. It's not switch fakie. It's just the nose. And once you've used the nose to get in the air, you're just in the air the way that you always are. So in that case, you roll up front side, Nollie, front board slide is pulling the front truck over. So you pop the front truck, but that doesn't matter. It's still the front truck going over. So a Nollie lip slide is the easy way where you just, you can kind of pop into it without having to clear it. You can just kind of kick turn onto it basically. So I know it's confusing and I know it's annoying, but that's the rules we got. Sorry about that. Next question is from Dylan, who says, what is your favorite Tony Hawk game post Pro Skater era? I have to go with Thug 2, and I'm saying that because it's such a solid game. There's not a lot of wasted stuff in it. The gameplay engine is really refined at that point. Everything feels good. There's not a lot of weird tricks that shouldn't be there, that are misanimated or anything like that. It's got the slow motion mode, like when you click in the stick and you go into to focus mode and you can do stuff. That's always fun. It plays really well and it's really solid. If you go past that and get to Tony Hawk's American Wasteland, then you've got Burt slides, which I never want to do. You've got those load tunnels between areas, so you don't have to hit a load screen, but you still have to like skate through a tunnel. I don't like that. They added in like bank drops and all kinds of other stuff that I just didn't want to do. That one felt like it was a little bit too far. There was a challenge in there where you have to run up a wall and do a backflip and land in a Burt slide, or not in a Burt slide, in a Nodis spin, and it was super hard. And like, it's just not like Thug 2. There's a lot of non-skating stuff in it, but after that it gets worse. But if you just want to play a game, if you want to play classic mode, I did the Zero Stats classic mode for Thug 2. That was actually a lot of fun. That game is good. The game is very solid. If you want to go back and play one of those games, that's the one I would pick. The story mode is going to depend on your tolerance for all that kind of stuff, but it's still good. It's well made anyway. Okay. Last question is from Witch Trash, who says, you're given $1 million in 5 years to become the world's greatest fingerboard master. If you succeed, you win $1 billion. If you fail, you lose your hands. If anyone finds out how you got the 1 million or about the potential 1 billion before the 5 years are up, you lose your hands. Do you do it? Okay. I will do the honest answer and then the fun answer, because the honest answer is no, I wouldn't do it. The only thing I would be confident at being the best in the world at is like finding things in my own closet, because nobody else knows where they are. If there was a worldwide competition to find where all of the jasmine rice in my house is, I would be a contender for being the best, because there's a bag of it in the pantry and there's also a canister of it in the cabinet. And most people wouldn't, well, nobody would know that, but some people might happen to guess, But I would be a contender at #1 in the world at that. But being the best grandmaster is what you said, at fingerboarding, I don't think I could be confident enough to make a gamble like that. Because if I lose my hands, I can't work anymore. I'm sure I could figure out how to control a computer mouse without hands, but it would really put a hamper on my style. So for $1 million, it's just not enough. That's a lot of money, but here's the thing. If you invest money in stocks, there's a rule called the 4% rule, where every year if you pull out 4%, you'll never hit the bottom, because the average increase is like 8%. Some years it might go down, some years it might go up 10, 12%, but if you pull out 4 every year, it'll average out and it'll stay even, and you can use that money forever, because it'll never run out. So if I have $1 million, I can get $40,000 each year, which right now would be nice, but when I'm 90 years old, that's going to be like grocery money, So that's not enough for me to not be able to work, and for me to not have hands anyway. There's a lot of quality of life stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. But let's say I did. Let's try the fun answer. Let's say I accept the challenge and I say I'm going to be the best fingerboarder in the world in 5 years for $1 billion. What would I do? So I can't tell people about the challenge, but I wouldn't tell people anything because I wouldn't want to inspire anybody else to get better. Like, I don't know who else is in the competition, right? So I'm not going to film stuff and put it online and make an Instagram where I show off all my clips. I'm not going to do it because I don't want anyone else to be inspired and want to compete with me. I want them to all be stagnating and I'm the only one getting better. That's my best shot here. So, with the $1 million in the bank, I would pay off my house. Okay, here's the plan. Pay off my house. That makes my bill, that's my biggest bill, which means that I could work less. So I would work maybe half time. I work a half day every single day. I'd have about 4 hours left. I would practice fingerboarding and I would do some filming every single day. So the competition is to be the best in the world, but I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's going to be who produced the best video part in the last 5 years or who can compete, in like an actual competition. Am I going to fly out and they're going to sit down in front of me and say, you've got 2 minutes, show us how good you are, show me what you got. And I just have to like do lines and try to impress them the most. So I need to be both really consistent at good stuff, for competition style and really good at filming stuff. Does the art of the filming have anything to do with it? Like how well it goes to the music and like the cool stylistic effects and stuff? Maybe. I don't know. So I just have to do everything. So for probably an hour a day, I would drill tricks. I would want to have a schedule. So I would have a hard trick that I just learned. Let's say like a switch flip back tail on a handrail. I would have to do it 5 times. Then I could move on to the next trick. And that would be like a nose blunt nollie heel flip, let's say. And I would have, these tricks would get better throughout the 5 years, but I would have to drill tricks and get really good at these basic staples for me. And I would have all that stuff locked. And I would spend the other 3 hours filming because drilling tricks, not fun. An hour a day for 5 years, that's a lot. So I would be trying to film for the other 3 hours a day. And I would try to do everything. So I really like in skateboarding and in fingerboarding, really technical stuff, switch tray flip, front crook, like that kind of stuff. But I couldn't just do only that. I would have to try to do all kinds of different genres. So I forgot to mention, I'm going to spend about 10 grand on fingerboarding supplies. So that's different size boards, that's different types of trucks, so I can experiment with everything, find the thing that works for me the best. And I'm gonna get a lot of ramps. There's a company called Black River in Germany, and they make like a really wide half pipe on a table. So wide that you can put like other ramps in there, and you can build these little skate parks. I would buy maybe a couple of those parks, so I have just amazing setup for me to practice every single day. So yeah, I would practice. I would try to do lots of technical stuff, and I would do different things. I would try to do things that have actual danger in them, which would be difficult because it's a fingerboard. But there is a clip I did. I will show you the clip where I started a fire on the stove and I did a Smith grind on top of it. I would try to do stuff like that because not a lot of people do that. So if you can introduce some actual danger into it, or doing a trick right on, like a lip of something on the top of a building so that if I messed up the trick, my board would fall down. Something like that, to try to introduce a little bit of interest in that way. I would do that. I would also try to do gaps that are actually big. There's one guy, I've talked about him recently because there have been lots of questions about this recently. Not this competition, but anyway, there's a guy who would like try a trick from his bookshelf, and he would land in the kitchen, and he would actually have to run and like catch up with the board in the air and then like catch and land. I would do some of that kind of stuff. I would try to be as good at everything as possible. Really steezy ramp tricks that are simple but just done really well. Everything. And I would film, and I would every month or so put aside the best trick I had. And by the end of the 5 years, I would put together a part. It would be a 2-song part, because any longer than that just drags on, right? So like a 2-song part that has the best clips from the last 5 years, which I may or may not need. It might be a competition. Hopefully I'm prepared for that too. So that's how I would go about it. Losing my hands would be a real problem in my life though. So yeah, the honest answer is no, I wouldn't do it. The only way I would do it is if I would get $1 billion no matter what. like $1 billion to enter and I could still lose my hands, I couldn't say no to that. That's so much money that like I could make a big difference, you know, like it'd be hard to turn down that money when I could like take it and donate it to people who need it and still be totally set for life myself. So yeah, that number would have to be higher, but it'd have to be really high. I don't know. Like I was saying, you can take out 4%. So like 10 million would be 400,000 a year, which is pretty good. If it was 20 million and I could take out 4,000 and like give 400,000, maybe. Still, that's a tough thing. But yeah, I really like these kinds of questions. If you have any like this year of your own, go to radratvideo.com, submit your question on the homepage. I am running a little bit low, so if you have some more, please go over there and send it. But that's it for now. Make sure you subscribe by tapping the logo on the middle of the screen. And I've got 170 something of these videos if you like them. Lots of game reviews, other things like that to check out as well. But thanks for watching. I'll see you later.